Let's get right into this. Hello, we are the Five Side Podcast. I'm Fergus Smith. This is Ross Stewart.
Hello.
Matthew Thompson.
Evening.
Craig Gregor.
Hello.
And Billy Kirkpatrick.
Hello.
It was Scottish Cup weekend. Great to have you back. Welcome back, darling. Love you. Some fantastic fixtures, and we're going to talk about. I forget. We'll start with an absolute emphatic win for Kilmarnock as they disposed of Stenhousemuir 4-0. And I'm sure Duro will be champing at the bit to get and call this one for us.
Well, I guess I'll start us off. I know yous are gonna, well, more so Craig and Ferg are a bit annoyed, but Kyle Lafferty again scoring goals. He netted a hat trick against Stenhousemuir at the weekend. Initially with a penalty. I don't think it was a penalty in the slightest. The Stenhousemuir defender put a bit of pressure on him and down went Lafferty, but was dispatched. During that sequence, the Stenhousemuir manager did get yellow carded for shouting at the linesman. Or fourth official, sorry, Bill. Then again, Kyle Lafferty, ball comes in, slots it home. Simple as you like. And third goal, Chris Burke, edge of the box, runs in, puts the ball just to Kyle Lafferty, about a yard out, and Kyle Lafferty scores. I believe it was at that point when the Stenhousemuir manager did get sent to the touchline due to shouting at the fourth official again because he was claiming it was offside. I know you guys probably watched it. I believe Billy did also watch it. It was hilarious. The Stenhousemuir manager just keep balling at the ref, and the linesman, and walks over to the fourth official and goes, "Just see that's offside." From there, gets sent to the stand. The game was then rounded off by I believe Oakley goal.
Mm-hmm.
Good finish. Ball comes in. 1-on-1. He decides to go near post, which you don't see that often, and causes the keeper to go the wrong way. So yeah, I would say that's all she wrote. Does anyone get any points to add to that?
Well, just first point there, that's why we don't let Drew tell stories, because he said it was very funny when the manager got sent to the stands, but he didn't make it sound funny to me.
I'm not a story.
I laughed.
Craig laughed. Okay, thanks, Craig.
One thing I've got to say about this game, anyways, although they will be saying, "No, it's just Stenhousemuir," that is a much needed win and a much needed goals for Kelly that will come in handy for them when they run into the end of the season. Where, fair enough, yeah, it's just Stenhousemuir, but when was the last time Kelly scored 4 goals?
The last game against Motherwell.
Oh
yeah.
But rotten there.
I completely blanked that Motherwell game out of my memory. But yeah, you've got to say that even with that though, it's still going to benefit them. It's still going to benefit them massively. To then run into the season. Why did I just completely forget about the Motherwell game?
I mean, in fairness, okay, when was the last time they scored 4 goals away from home?
Yeah, exactly. That's what I was going for.
I mean, though, when you play teams like Stenhousemuir, And no disrespect to teams like Stenhousemuir, but when you play teams of Stenhousemuir's quality, it's
Okay, Ian McCall.
Thanks, Ian McCall, for that exclusive.
it's it's a win. We'll give them a bit of confidence, but come on, it's hardly won a cup here. They won one game.
Yeah, but it's still a confidence winner for them going into the end of the season.
Most teams have had the budget and squad of Kilmarnock's level would beat Stenhousemuir.
Yeah, but it's still, like I said, a confidence win for them. Like, for example, Livy, they didn't they only struggled to beat Wraith. The Premier, some of the other cup sets that happened, some of them we don't want to mention too much, but they do happen, so some of those games like those could be stumbling blocks, and they overcame it comfortably.
No, I think I'd agree. I think there's a certain element of like when you're the teams lower down in the league, it's not very often you get to sort of have an open season and get a few goals. And I think getting the scoring reps in might help them down the line. I mean, as me and Drew have said plenty of times, Kelly are safe,
Yep,
I hope
by
not.
that.
and we'll stand by it.
Nah.
I still think they're
Nah.
going down.
But I think getting games in where you're scoring 3-4 goals, especially back to back, I think going into the sort of the post split run of fixtures, I think that could stand them in good stead.
Nah. I hope they go down.
I still think
I
they
thought-
will go down.
I
Alongside Hamilton.
thought the 4-0 over Stenhousemuir was a bit of an average scoreline. Should have scored more,
They had chances, to be fair, and they didn't
and they should have put them away.
capitalise on. But I don't think anyone in Kilmarnock will be very disappointed that they won a game by 4.
I don't think many people in Kilmarnock will have watched the game.
No, they're all watching the Rangers game this weekend.
It was on the day after.
But they don't support Kilmarnock.
I've got to say the third goal, by the way, was very well worked from Burke. Hey, I didn't know he had that turn of pace in him at how old is he again? 37.
38?
37, and he's got a
38.
turn of pace like that. Impressive, I've got to say.
Him and Lafferty with a combined old team. It feels like an old Rangers team with Burke and
Yes.
Lafferty in it.
They are combined for 70 years old between them.
They do need Naismith in just to combine the attack.
You get rid of Stephen Davis.
He's too good for Kelly.
It's Neil Eggs.
Take that, Stephen, if you're listening.
Stephen.
I'm sure. Yeah, it was a formality win. You'd call it for Kelly. They had to win that game, and they'll be glad they did, and they move on to the next round.
Congratulations. Who are they playing next?
Montrose.
Montrose.
Well, there you go.
Yes.
Oh, good
Um,
to get further into.
so-
discussion.
Let's talk about Montrose then. Fraserburgh 2, Montrose 4. Montrose scoring 4 goals after. No, they did open the scoring. Never mind. They opened the scoring very early and conceded again very early. So it could have been some game, but they managed to get themselves ahead, stay ahead, and then win the game fairly comfortably.
Yeah.
And I think
it was a good performance from Fraserburgh. It's always going to be tough for the Highland and the Lowland League teams at this stage of the competition, having not played since January, although teams like Prora did prove that that doesn't make a difference when they did knock out Hearts.
It is Hearts, though.
But I'm sure Fraserburgh thought they were going to be in for a tough afternoon when they conceded 2 minutes in. But they managed to push on and actually go ahead at like 20 minutes later, so good on them.
do they get a medal for that?
Yeah, they do. They get a medal for going ahead against Montrose. Do you never had that medal?
No, I don't
No.
think I've ever had that medal, to be fair. Not in a long time.
Not this season, anyway.
No, not
Next season.
not many medals this season. Just
Not
last
this.
season's cup final.
I get medals all the time.
What? Do they give you them for plumbing?
Nah, just for waking up in the morning. Just presented with a medal.
Yeah.
A wee ceremony down the stairs. National anthem's playing.
Well, maybe if you tidy your room, you get another medal.
But back
Maybe
onto this game,
Billy could tell us about his goal of the week.
Yes, my goal of the week comes from this game. The third goal scored by Montrose. Dare I say it might even be my goal of the season coming into the season because it was tremendous. It was a tremendous overhead kick from McLean. His nickname is known as Rusty, but he wasn't rusty. He was fluid to get that flexibility to do that overhead kick. Certainly something I couldn't do. I'd be lucky just to head of the ball, let alone try and overhead kick it. It was a tremendous finish. It was a thunder twat into the top right hand corner, and it gets my goal of the week. And I don't know what we know what we should maybe do a prize from now on for my goal of the week. And we'll post it out to you.
I'm sure McLean would be waiting patiently for your prize to come if there was one.
Yeah, maybe a box of Galaxy chocolates or something.
If you can find their address and send them a parcel off without getting the police round your door, then feel free to do that. But I'm not paying for it.
Send it to Montrose.
Yeah, because I'm sure they'll be happy to receive a suspicious parcel in the mail as well.
Suspicious parcel. It's a parcel of chocolates. Very kind.
A parcel of chocolates
You know, send it to
could be poisoned.
What?
Do you know, just make it something like really weird and try and get the guy to pose with it, like Connor Salmon has to do with every stupid
With the pizza and the salmon.
Just we'll get one of the local takeaways to sponsor us.
Yeah.
Or Chris Boyd doing the
Mattresses.
Was it the
Mattress commercial. Phenomenal.
But no, what a finish. It was an absolute fantastic goal.
It was, and they rounded that off with a fourth goal in the 90th minute, where I don't really know what happened. Just a bit of a miscommunication, a mess up, and it turned into a 2v0 attack pretty much.
All I heard when I was watching that goal was Lino, that's fucking offside, Lino.
How can actually I noticed that as well. But how can you be offside when the other team gave the ball to you?
I don't know.
I think someone needs to tell whoever was shouting at the offside rule.
You never know. It might be an offside.
I don't think I know what offside looks like after the John McGinn goal. I'm still upset. I'm still sure it was offside.
It was onside.
I know.
I'm telling you.
I know, but my judgment suggests if I was on the touchline managing the opposite team, I'd have been sent to the stands. I'm on the Scotland. What's the next game?
Rangers 4, Cove Rangers 0. And Jur was there, as usual.
I was at this game, courtesy of Premier Sports.
I think you mean Glasgow TV.
Sorry, courtesy of Glasgow TV with Stephen Craigan, and only Stephen Craigan is apparently the only presenter you can find. Sometimes you get a Rory Hamilton occasionally, but yeah. 7 changes were made for Rangers playing the other Rangers, like Rangers Derby, and yeah, it was an extremely comfortable game. Rangers, Glasgow Rangers rather, were 4-0 up at half time, cruising the game. Could have been about 8 or 9.
But it finished 4-0, and really they should be quite disappointed with that. They should have scored more.
Potentially should have scored more, but I think when
Poor.
they've made so many changes and they're just trying to get guys minutes, I don't think they can have too much of an issue. Scott Wright and Nathan Patterson would be my 2 men of the match. They were both.
Yeah, you only get one man of the match.
No, you get multiple men in the match.
Anyway, so I can finish.
Hope Nathan Patterson didn't celebrate that one by going to a house party.
Well, he didn't go to a house party. He hosted one. This time.
But continue.
Well, self speculation.
It's not speculation. That is confirmed. He did go to his party.
Yeah, but we don't
That
know
bit is
if
confirmed.
no, but we don't know if he was at a party or hosting a party. Is what I'm trying to say.
Well, it doesn't make a difference. Yeah.
Yes,
Can we get back to the
Anyway.
game, please?
Thank you. Yes, Nathan Patterson.
Why is good? He shouldn't have a ban. Why?
Played extremely well, as did Scott Wright. Credit to Cove. They played quite a high line and tried to play their own type of football, but when you're playing against the best team in the country by a country mile, you can't compete. It's extremely difficult. They tried their best, but sometimes you just got to put your hands up and say that Glasgow Rangers were the better team on the day. Special mention to Jermaine Defoe, who's scored in every year since, I believe, 1998, which is rather
That's
impressive.
how old he is.
He did miss a couple of chances, I would say 2 or 3 chances that typically would score, but he did. His goal was from about 20 odd yards out and tucked into the bottom left-hand corner.
Yeah, against an amateur goalkeeper.
Well, that'll take us on to, I assume, Celtic's game. I guess there's nothing more I have to report on that. Ferg, you were there, I believe.
Where?
Parkhead.
Celtic Park.
I did.
Stopped myself calling it nasty names.
I did watch the full 90 minutes. I thought it was it was what I expected, really. The result 3-0 in the end probably should have been more, but we started. James Forrest got his first start since September or something last year. Like, ridiculous, because he's been out injured that long. Lee Griffiths started a game and for the first time in forever as well, it seems like. I don't think we were too bad in the first half. We were actually making chances, creating good chances in the first half. Just couldn't get the chances to fall to the right people or the sharpest players. Lee Griffiths is not very sharp at the moment, but it was the longer he stayed on, the sharper he got, I felt. He missed a couple of reasonably easy chances. Fair enough, one was on his right foot and he's a left-footed player, but give him a bit of leeway, considering he's not exactly played a lot recently.
I think one of the chances as well, the ball kind of bounced up before it got to his foot, and
and then there was another one where it was on his favourable foot, and he just hits it a bit late, so it's not a good connection. But
when he just sclaffs at as well from maybe about 10 yards out and just misses it completely.
Yeah, that's the one where the ball bounced up.
Yeah.
Oh, no,
I mean, we'll see over coming weeks how much game time he gets, and if he gets sharper. He looked like he was getting sharper as the game went on. He just couldn't find that goal. A man who I just mentioned, James Forrest, he managed to find himself a goal, although slightly deflected. I'm sure that'll greatly sort of help us push on to full fitness and sharpness again. Just that confidence of seeing the ball hit the back of the net when you hit a shot is sort of something that a lot of players kind of need a lot of the time. I think
He was getting worried his brother was going to be better than him.
Yep. It'll do him a world of good, I think. Another man who scored very quickly after this, who's been taking pelters for quite a while now, and probably as well will sort of benefit from that confidence of a goal finally going in, is Ryan Christie.
Do you think, because obviously we make jokes about how many shots he hits from outside the box. Do you think this will give him do you think it's like the Ronaldo free kick effect, where just when you get to the point where you're like, right, you really need to stop doing this, they ping one in, and then you're like, oh God, that gives them another 40.
I don't know, because his sort of reaction was like, he just kind of turned around and stood there and laughed. It was like thank fuck that went in, sort of thing.
Or do you think it'll be the Ronaldo effect? He used to be class at long shots, now he can't do them.
Hopefully.
I wouldn't say that Ryan Christie's ever been class at long shots.
I suppose it goes to show that
I'd say he's been
eventually,
quite good.
no matter how hard you try, As long as you keep going, you'll eventually get it right.
against
Yeah.
I think it was well played from Ryan Christie as well, because he'd cut in from that at that point, that position, a couple times already in the game, and tried to curl it in top bins in the far corner. And this time he kind of kept it low, and he went for near post and maybe just caught the defender and the goalkeeper off guard a little bit, just considering the position of where he was hitting it from.
I think, though, on a side note, I think Falkirk tactically were dreadful. They came not to get a drubbing, to be quite honest. They didn't look as if they wanted to try and go and actually attack the game. We're very content to sit back and.
I think it was mentioned about 800 times in commentary that this was a free hit for Falkirk. It didn't matter whether they won or not. They've got more important games to worry about. Blah blah blah. All that nonsense.
Go at it then. Like
I know. That's what I would have thought.
Because teams shouldn't be scared of Celtic at the moment. So like
In the first half, Celtic really didn't create. Well, they created a few chances, but didn't really make anything of the chances. And Falkirk failed to register a shot.
One issue that would be a tad concerning if Celtic had 42 shots on Saturday and only had 9 on target.
if many of them were outside the box.
Like 42 must be like close to the highest they've had all season, if not.
I think a lot of the shots were were blocked.
14 of them were blocked.
So that's
26.
28 other shots.
So 19 off target, which is quite a few, but
the ball boys are gonna run
and
out.
capped off by Mohamed El Enoussi. Basically just fresh on the pitch, really, and it's probably the goal of the bunch. To be honest, the ball comes in and he takes a nice, probably maybe slightly heavy touch, but it's kind of that weight where the keeper's making his decision whether he moves for it or not, and El Enoussi just steps forward onto it and chips it over the goalkeeper.
Mm-hmm.
Composed.
see,
And that
I don't agree with the fact that he's like Falkirk should have came and gone for it. I feel like that would not be the right way to go about this, because I think you're underestimating the actual skill gap between Celtic, even a poor Celtic team right now, between them and Falkirk, a team who haven't played many games since January.
So you're saying they tactically got it right, given the fact they never registered a shot?
I'm not saying they tactically got it right, but I don't think it was tactically dreadful for them. They
I think
they had to come there and try and hold them out, and they did hold them out for a half.
I don't know. As I said, I think coming out the gates with a bit of pace wouldn't have been the worst. I'm not saying trying to like go Hail Mary for 90 minutes.
I think they did what was expected, and that kind of played into Celtic's hands. Really, if you have one or two players, if you go up and get in the faces of the centre halves, which they didn't really do very often. Stephen Welsh had nothing to do a lot of the time. The ball would come to him and he'd have loads of time to play a pass.
I think
I think experienced players like that should be able to sort of
I
think
put some more pressure on players.
With the games going to extra time and penalties, for a team like Celtic to get for a team like Falkirk to get something out of the game, I feel like they had to take it to penalties. I don't think they were ever going to beat Celtic in 90 minutes or 120 minutes. I feel like the only way they were getting through that round was to win on penalties.
I also feel that given Falkirk's season and wanting to get promoted, it's far more important to focus on a league game and just sit in against Celtic, knowing fine well they're never going to win the cup. They might as well just sit in, try play for a draw, maybe try get a counter, which obviously they couldn't do because they didn't have the quality to do so. The league for them was far more important than a meaningless game against the second best team in the country.
I'll go back to where I was. Mohamed El Enoussi, I think that was 16 goals for the season he's brought up now, which good numbers for him. And the question on everyone's lips really is, should Celtic go for him at the rumoured price tag of £5 million in the summer?
Yes.
I'm interested to hear what Matt thinks.
No, Yeah, no, yeah.
I think, well, obviously it depends how much money that Celtic are going to spend in the summer, but I think for me it's a no-brainer
Yeah,
for a player of his quality,
I really like.
and yeah, for a player of his quality, and then all the rumors are getting increasingly sort of more and more that Eddie Howe's going to be coming in reasonably soon. Apparently, supposedly, he's going to be announced soon. And I just like Elianus is a player that just you watch him and he's just got so much quality, and you can tell that under a good side with a good manager, a well coached team, he could do bits. I mean, he's done bits in a poor Celtic team this season
And
and last season as well. He was a fantastic player for us. So,
and
He's
he's not
done
always
very
been
well.
playing in his favoured position either.
Yeah, I was just about to say that he's
yeah,
done quite well considering
he's
they
played
don't know
second
where
striker
actually
most
they
of
don't know
the,
where to actually play him, or well, they didn't under Neil.
Having
I think
first back might help that.
comparing the £5 million price tag to previous Celtic transfers, for example, Ayeti, who was also £5 million, it's a bargain for him.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
it really is. I think, especially like don't be wrong, you're gonna get. I think if you're signing players that have never played for the club or in the league before, you've got that gamble. I don't want to say it's a sure thing that he's going to be good if we sign him, but at least you know what you're paying your money for. And at least if for some reason it didn't work out, at least we could turn around and go, well, look, he was good. Then I don't think it would be a bad signing by any matter of means.
It's very
I
similar
mean,
to Rangers, for example, with the loan of Hadji last season, bringing
Yeah,
Hadji in this season. Although Hadji perhaps to many hasn't put up as well as he did last season, he's still the league's top assister and like third or fourth top goal scorer. So
I
Or even
personally
similar to
just
Rangers or Ryan Kent as well.
I personally just struggle to believe that Southampton would be willing to let Elianussi go for as little as 5 million. But we'll wait and we'll see.
they've
And
robbed us for about 10 transfers in the last 10 years.
true, that's true. They owe it to us, please, Southampton. Give us them. And obviously, I did mention there that the Eddie Howe rumours are becoming more stronger by the day.
It's going to be
What's
even more
what's,
hilarious when John Kennedy gets the job.
what's your thoughts on it, Matt?
As I said before, I like Eddie Howe. I've got a lot of respect for what he done at Bournemouth with a real limited budget. I don't think they were ever the team that were splashing the cash. And that just sort of, I think it was one of those things where he'd taken that team as far as he could ever really take them. Do I think he's the manager that's going to take us forward in terms of European football? I don't. My honest answer is I have no idea. But I like the sound of him more than I like the sound of other names that are passed around. And if he gets the job, I wouldn't be disappointed. I would take him, and yeah, I'll give him a full support.
It seems from I've been reading is that talks are in an advanced stage to having like basically been agreed, and he's basically just they're waiting on signing deals and
I think
etc.
it's personal terms, isn't it? Still, I don't know if they've signed. I
Yeah,
think it's like the last.
I think it's just like he's weighing up his options, but it seems pretty close to being done and dusted.
Yeah.
I'm also not going to get my hopes up and say, oh yeah, it's definitely done for it to not happen, but it does seem very, very close at this point.
It'll be interesting to see what kind of budget he'll be given, because I feel that sometimes in the past Celtic managers haven't been given adequate budget. I feel that's primarily why Rodgers left. I think if you gave him more money and he had to go at a Champions League or something like that, he'd probably have stayed.
I think it might all depends on like what players Celtic end up keeping hold of, because obviously with Eddie Howe coming in, he could talk to some players that are thinking about leaving in the summer and sort of renew their hope in the club, and they could end up staying, signing new contracts. So you never actually know, and it's one of those ones you'll have to assess it when he gets to the club, and all these changes that are happening at Celtic right now. It's hard to tell what's actually going to happen. So it's just a waiting game at the moment, but hopefully the ball gets rolling and we're looking good come the start of the summer.
Agreed.
Predictions. Oh fuck. Yeah, that one. Well done, Jure, on just taking this week
Just another day
with
in the office for me.
yep. with 18 points. Craig only 1 point behind him, but no cigar. And myself, Billy, and Matt a little bit back, but all tied. And that leaves Matt well out in front anyway, for now.
The gap's closing.
Craig has closed the gap by 4. Well done, Craig.
What was it now? Did you say 20?
20.
There's only 10 up for grabs during the week, so that's okay.
There is only 10
And
up
I'm
for
getting
grabs.
all 10.
We'll meet
Craig's getting all 10.
final copy
Well,
results.
and Craig's going to tell us now his predictions for during the week, and it is Ayr v Dundee, the fixture that's happened about 8 times this season. What are you saying?
It feels like it's happened about 8 times, but it's only happened twice so far. Ayer's won both, and I think they'll get the three-peat 2-0 Ayr.
Bill?
No. Can't score, can't defend. 2-1 Dundee.
It's Drew, isn't it? Who is it?
It's Jure.
I'm gonna say 2-0 to Dundee.
And I'm going to go for the old favourite. 1 each.
Ayr are not very good. They did lose to Clyde the weekend.
Shh, we don't talk about that.
Men.
No, we do. So 3-0 Dundee.
Jesus.
And the other game is Morton v Inverness.
Well, it seems I'll be the only person to get points for their game. And I'll be the only person to get points for this game when I go 1-0 Morton.
Well, I think it will come as no surprise. I'll try that again. I think it will come as no surprise to what I'm going to pick for this game. Score draw,
I'll put it.
1-1.
I think Inverness will keep up a decent run of form and win 3-1.
Well, that's the exact same score as our last game. I'm going to... Oh. Yeah, I agree. Well, not with 3. I think 2-0. 2-0 Inverness.
And I'm going to go for 2-1 Inverness. So
But I would say that it wouldn't.
We'll see.
With the way the championship's going, it would not surprise me if Morton won that game.
yeah, I'm exactly the same. But we'll see.
Well, I'm either going to get the only points or no points. Well, I guess I could get 1 right and 1 wrong, but
Nah, Craig's only the only points are no points.
You know the old saying, it's either 0 or 100. You know.
hero.
0 or 100. And that's all. Unless anyone can think of any breaking news that's happened.
Obviously,
Breaking news: Stephen Gerrard's been sacked. I just got it there.
Obviously, in the next round, Rangers versus Celtic in at the Old Firm.
To be fair, yeah.
Another Old Firm. That'll be interesting to see. Celtic yet to come out on top in any Old Firm so far. Will they make it their first Old Firm win this season?
Having an Old Firm this early in the cup is beneficial for the other teams as well, because it means one member of the Old Firm will be knocked out of the cup, which is always good for the other teams.
I mean, when was the last time?
The Old Firm.
I think it's certainly what Craig said, that one of the two will be kicked out the cup. Well, not kicked out, but
one of the 2 Old Firm teams.
Yeah.
Yes, I think you've made it fucking very clear.
When was the last time we had an Old Firm so early on in the cup competitions? Usually it's the semi-final, the final. I can't recall the last time we had an Old Firm in the 4th round.
To be fair, they actually had to do it. They had to do it because people are getting suspicious that it was taking so long for Celtic and Rangers to be drawn against each other in the cup competitions. Because usually, as you say, it is later on.
I'm just
I mean,
So they had to rig it, so it was an early round this year, just so people
it's going
kind
to
of
be
backed off the suspicions.
Celtic's biggest game of the season.
I think if we go into the final Old Firm of the season with Rangers still unbeaten, that's still an important game. Like, don't be wrong, I know technically the league's lost, but I mean, as a Celtic fan, I really don't want to see Rangers go on a season unbeaten after we went unbeaten and said that it would be done again.
Yeah, true. It's going to be interesting for sure. Rangers didn't play the greatest the last two Old Firms and still got results, so it'll be interesting to see.
Well, as I say, it'll be interesting to see the refereeing appointment.
It'll be Willie Collum.
Well,
No,
okay, then you might win.
no, he did the last one, so I don't think it'll be him.
Oh, yes, we did.
You've,
I reckon they should pull out like an interesting one.
One interesting
Just-
ref.
Yeah, just for the
We
patter,
do it
just
that-
like someone
See
someone who's never had one
they
before.
called up Bobby Madden for the patter. Can we do that with another league and just call up one of the refs?
Oh, look,
Uh-huh.
we've got Mark Clattenburg.
No.
Speaking, sorry, Craig, but speaking on refereeing points, Brian Rice's post-match interview on Saturday. that is one thing I've got to touch on.
Forgot about that.
He
So did I,
Um,
actually.
an explosive. I've never seen such an explosive, brutal rant in a long time. I think the last time I can recall it was when Billy Brown was manager East Fife, and he went on a 20-minute rant about fans and seagulls and teams struggling and struggling and struggling.
Fucking
But,
seagulls.
Brian Rice's comments. I mean, you know, is there an element of truth in that, or is he just frustrated?
I think it would be an element of truth more if they weren't playing St Mirren. It's not as if they were playing a Celtic or a Rangers and they're like, we get no decisions or anything. They're playing St Mirren.
Yeah, they're playing a club that's around. Well, not, but St Mirren are obviously better and higher level, but around about their sort of level of team they're playing. I think, and then I think it takes away from the fact that St Mirren have won that game 3-0 of him going, that was never a 3-0 game.
It was a 3-0.
I mean, it clearly fucking was, because 3 goals went in the back of the net.
Is anyone,
It's only
I never understand when people say
the
that.
penalty
That's
decision he was
Hamilton.
referring to in the interview? Has anyone actually seen it?
So the
No.
Hamilton were denied, in my opinion, a penalty, and then the penalty given was at best debatable.
Right.
But if you look at exactly what Brian Rice said in the post-match interview, I'll quote this here. This was the explosive quote, which has caught a lot of eyes. He was talking to journalists in the post-match, and he went, "You will not write this because it's fucking Hamilton." And I'm fed up phoning Crawford Allen, who's the head of the referees at SFA, and being fucking shoved to the side because we're only Hamilton. So evidently he's not happy, and then he went on to explain that he's had 3 conversations with Mr. Allen about refereeing decisions this season, and obviously feels that he's not getting the right answers. He's being shoved to the side about it.
A bizarre one. I'm sure there's probably more to the story, or maybe there's not. Maybe there's actually absolutely nothing in it. But I'm sure he'll get a stern word.
Get a touchline ban.
At least, yes.
That's what-
Probably a ban or a fine or something at least for words like that.
And if he doesn't, then that would suggest that the decision was wrong.
And we don't condone the naughty language that Billy's just said. Naughty Billy.
Well, I'm quoting what Brian Rice said. That's what he said in an interview to the press.
he did put it in
For-
quotes.
For the rest of the draw, obviously, all Premiership tie, Aberdeen v Livingston.
Up the snooze fest.
The only other
four for-
Premiership tie, which is
Yes.
interesting.
4 for Athletic v Dundee United. Kilmarnock, Montrose, as was mentioned earlier. Motherwell, Greenock Morton. Rangers v Celtic. St Johnson v Ayr Conquering Clyde. St Mirren, Inverness. And Stranraer v Queen of the South or Hibernian as that game has not happened yet. It will be this evening in about 8 minutes' time or something. 20 minutes' time. There you go.
Like I said, it was Aberdeen Livingston being the only other Premiership draw aside the Old Firm game. You've got 6 lower league clubs in there who have 6, potentially 7 if Queen of the South upset or Hibernian. Then you've got the potential for one of them to go on a good rerun. One I'd point out, maybe I could see maybe Morton getting something off of Motherwell. Depends what
Motherwell haven't been in great form recently.
Inverness
So, yeah.
possibly getting something off St Mirren.
I think that's for me. That's probably the tie of the round outside the Old Firm.
I think for me the match between Rangers and Celtic
Is that the Old Firm game?
is, yes, but that is for me is the final. Whoever wins that wins the cup, in my opinion. The
Do you
rest,
think
Well, it's been said in the past, and it's not happened. So
I will go on record and say whoever wins that game will win the cup.
Do you think Premier Sports will just show it twice? 'Cause they
Yes.
can't pick it up?
I think they are showing it twice.
And the Saturday game is the Old Firm, and the Sunday game we've got the Old Firm again.
With audio
The
description.
reverse leg.
with audio description. No, they'll probably just show a Glasgow Cup game or something against the Celtic and Rangers youth teams.
A rerun.
Well, Motherwell Morton, they're close
young-
enough to
the
Glasgow
young
for Glasgow
firm.
TV.
Yeah, give it that one.
They might do
That-
some Johnson
I-
Clyde,
so-
Clyde are kind of near Glasgow.
Fuck
Yeah.
Clyde.
It's in the name.
Fuck Clyde.
Um,
Fifth round draw was made as well. So fifth round ties: Aberdeen or Livingston will take on Forfar or Dundee United. Kilmarnock or Montrose will take on St Mirren or Inverness. Rangers or Celtic will take on St Johnstone or Clyde. Stranraer or Queen of the South or Hibernian will take on Motherwell or Greenock
Too
Morton.
many R's in that one. I don't even know. There's 5 teams potentially that could be in there. That's too many.
I know. We really need to know if Hibs or Queen of the South are going through.
Mhm.
So it does. It lines up another, couple potential all Premiership ties. But it lines up some, again, like Craig said, some maybe a route for a lower league club to get somewhere in the competition. So
got to
It's a
remember how important this competition is this year as well, with the winner getting guaranteed group stage European football. Which, fair enough, if Rangers or Celtic win it, that will go to third place in the league, or if third place in the league win it, obviously. But
Well, I mean, the way to look at it is
you could just imagine a team like St Johnstone or Livy or Kelly or Motherwell managing to get group stage football.
I think the way to look at it is in the semi-finals. You'll have one of Kilmarnock, Montrose, St Mirren, or Inverness, which is good for the lower end teams.
Yeah.
That's probably one way to look at it. The same with Stranraer, Queen of the South, Hibs, Motherwell, or Morton. One of the 5 will be in the semi-finals.
All 5 of them.
Not all
Yep.
5, one of them.
all 5 of them. No, all 5 of them. They're gonna do sort of like a combined team. And Matt, that's your challenge for Thursday night. Is to do a Stranraer, St Mirren. I don't even know.
Stranraer,
Hibs.
Queen of the South, Hibs, Motherwell or Morton.
11. There you go. We like doing Matt doing 11s, so we'll let him do one.
I'll just take the
On-
last
on
all
those
5
teams.
of those teams beat Rangers and pick players.
Just pick some players. Well, that will do for now. We'll be back on, I think, Thursday. Works for everyone, so we'll be back then with descriptions of the 2 championship games, and
And how
hopefully
Craig
Matt.
got 10 points.
That's plenty, Craig. And hopefully Matt's bizarre combined 11. Until then, Craig, do you want to say goodbye?
Goodbye.
Billy, do you want to say goodbye?
Goodbye.
Jure or Mr. Butthole, would you like to say goodbye?
For that cheek, Yeah, goodbye, everyone. Jesus,
You should, Tim.
Matt, do
Fun.
you want to say goodbye?
Yep, thank you again, everyone, for listening, and hope you all enjoy the good weather before it turns.
Well, it was forecast for snow today. I didn't see any snow. All I've seen all day is the blue sky and sunshine.
No surrender.
I hope everyone's had a fantastic Easter weekend, and we'll see you next time. Catch you later. God bless.